Some of the sights and sounds of yesterday here. Now let's, as we've done throughout, bring you these fantastic graphics to show you a bit of a comparison. The first event of the day, Dan, was 100 meters hurdles.
Well, absolutely fantastic for KJT. A good run for Nafi, but still 40 points back. But Kendall Williams just blew us all away. And I had a chance to talk to her coach, Petros, and said, is she a hurdler now? He said, absolutely not. She's still going to do the multis. And then they move over to the high jump. Really good event for both Nafi and KJT, but KJT probably got the best of it because you would have figured Nafi was going to out-jump her maybe by a height or two. And then onto the shot put, she struggled on her first two throws there, KJT, but then she blasted a personal best. I think she surprised us all because I didn't like the looks of those first two, but a nice personal best there. And then they move on to the 200 meters. You see the shot put, not a big point score for any of those women in the group, but then it was a 200 meters. And we talked about how fast this track was, and I'm a little surprised that heptathletes didn't run just a bit quicker. Thought we might see KJT in the high 20 or in the low 23s there. So outstanding first day for her, the best she's ever had. She's got to feel good about her chances today.
As we wait, these two pools in the women's heptathlon long jump, by the way, will run concurrently on adjacent runways. Most of those in medal contention are in Group A, so on the same runway. They'll be watching each other's marks closely. Nafi Thiam will jump before Katarina Johnson-Thompson in both rounds. You can see the initial athletes getting ready. Kendall Williams of the USA, Erica Bugard as well, who are both right in the medal hunt as well. They're also in that same pool. A couple of others who are also in the chase for medals will go in Group B, Nadine Broughson and Anouk Vetter, the Dutch pair. But it will be Kendall Williams, who had that brilliant 100 meters hurdles yesterday. What can we expect from her in the long jump, Dan?
Well, she's an outstanding jumper. I think for her to have a chance at the bronze medal, she needs to jump up 660, 670, 680. 680 would really put her in a good position to battle for that bronze medal against her teammate, Erica Bugard. And she needs to throw well and really dig at the 800 meters, which she hasn't had to do that often. But nobody loves that 800 meters, but she's ready to run it. Her coach says she's in good shape, but she needs to have a good long jump here to give herself a chance.
So Kendall Williams on the runway, almost ready over there. Final preparations being made by the officials. The cone will be removed. The individual jump clock, which is the amount of time that each athlete has to take their attempt once the cone is removed, will be starting to move shortly. Again, just looking at the wind reading over on that far side, 0.2 following wind, so next to nothing really. There's that jump clock we speak of on the right-hand side. As soon as the official removes the cone, that signals the start of the competition, and that jump clock will be winding down. Never really massively comes into play. The only time it really does if anybody aborts their run-up for any reason and needs to go back and have another go. But here's Kendall Williams then. There's the clock moving, and this is the heptathlon long jump, Group A.
Well, Kendall Williams will use that superior speed. She's an outstanding sprinter. We saw her run really, really well in the hurdles, but she wants to bring all that speed from the hurdles over here to the long jump.
She was in the bronze medal position overnight, and she starts with a red flag. So again, we talk about safety, we talk about getting a mark in the first round. Big foul.
Well, that was just an adjustment issue. That's not a big foul. That's way over. So she'll move her step back a solid foot and try to replicate the same run, or you'll adjust your run just a little bit. But most of the time, it's just a step check adjustment and nothing else.
So Kendall Williams, as we say, third overnight, just ahead of her teammate Erica Bugard. In fact, I say just ahead, 2 points are the difference between Kendall Williams in third and Bugard in fourth in the overnight standings. Bugard, who had a good 200 meters to close yesterday, 23.8, ran a very good hurdles at the start of the day as well. Here she goes in the long jump.
Erica Bugard, an outstanding high jumper, an outstanding long jumper as well, but she only comes in with 6:38. I'm say only, that's outstanding for a heptathlete. But tough to put her against athletes who have 670, 680 personal best. but Erica's just got a great attitude. She never gets down. She had a nice, solid performance yesterday. She got lost in the shuffle just a little bit, just outshined by KJT and Nafi Thiam. But talking to her coach today, he said he was happy with her performance yesterday, and she's still the odds-on favorite for the bronze.
Wits of Belgium will go next. She's down in 13th position. Long jump does tend to be a really strong event for most of the top competitors, isn't it? When you look at the personal best down the list, a lot of them are worth over 1,000 points.
Well, this is an area that the heptathletes can really get a lot of points, and we're at the world-class level here. You better be able to jump over 6 meters, and I think that's really a benchmark. You're in the collegiate system. Some of the young ladies in that system just aren't great long jumpers. They don't possess as much speed, but here at this level, everybody's a 6-meter-plus jumper.
Just to mention, by the way, Maria Huntington of Finland is not starting in this and has withdrawn from the competition. So Wits next to go. Not over 6 meters as Wits gets herself a white flag in round 1.
Well, I like the shaded areas that show us the different points, certainly, and we get an indication of what the athlete can score based on where they're landing. I think these reader boards as well are some of the best reader boards I've ever seen at any track meet. You get a real indication of how far those jumps are without waiting for the marks. But you know, somebody like a long jumper goes over 8 meters, you don't know exactly how far it is until that mark comes up, and there's still some suspense and a lot of waiting for those marks to appear.
6:11 for Wits, who has a lifetime best of 6:39. Here we go then, Nafi Thiam. Now, worth pointing out that Thiam and Katarina Johnson-Thompson are very closely matched when it comes to the long jump. There's just 7 centimeters between their personal best. So if they both perform to their expectations here, there shouldn't be too much ground gained or lost in this event.
Well, and it's interesting, just such a different feeling jumping in a heptathlon than in an open long jump competition or a triathlon. In an open competition, just the pressure is greater. You have to force yourself and really talk yourself into being just more open and free and carefree here. Let's see what kind of a safe jump she comes up with on the first one.
So looks to be well behind the board, gets herself a white flag. So that is one on the board for Thiam in the early stages. Looked to be low 6 meters.
Yeah, it looks like she didn't even reach the board. Very, very safe for her. We'll scoot her up just a little bit. But she knows what she's doing for sure. That's a nice, safe jump. And as the favorite, she's doing exactly what she should do in each and every event. 6:25 for Thiam.
Solid start for Nafi Thiam, who can build from that. Hannah Mordens of Belgium next to jump. 16th in the overnight standings, just 22 years of age. And her lifetime best stands at 6 meters 53, set indoors. Conditions pretty good down there, pretty still for these long jumpers. There goes Mordens, the world and European junior heptathlon medalist.
Well, that's a pretty good jump as well. Well into the 6 meter distance. I thought it was going to be close to a foul. Nice penultimate, that penultimate step, second to the last. Got to really set up the jump. You want to drop your center of gravity. Nice foot placement. She could certainly manage a few more centimeters out of that. She'll be the leader in the long jump.
6 meters 41, absolutely. That's a terrific opening round from Hannah Mordens of Belgium. 6:41, just shy of her lifetime best. Next to go will be Verena Preiner of Austria, who was overnight 6th position. She was 34 points behind Kendall Williams in the bronze medal position. Was Preiner 6:34 at her best, so she's a little bit behind some of the athletes she's contesting for bronze. So again, somewhere near her lifetime best here, or better, could really throw her right into the medal shake-up. That looks a solid start. 6:34 jumper at her best. That looks relatively close to that.
Well, there's a nice camera angle as she started that run. You got a chance to see those very deliberate strides out of the back, and those deliberate strides out of the back just help your consistency down the runway. When you can create those long pushing strides out of the back, reaching really the end of your stride length, you can be just so much more consistent on that runway as you work on it each and every practice during the week.
And it was very close to her lifetime best, just 7 centimeters shy, with 6 meters 27 for Verena Preiner. Next to go will be Marta Koala of Burma, 25 years of age, and again a good long jumper, 6:64. Tenth position overall, 140 points behind the athletes currently in third position. That is a white flag. That is another impressive opening round jump. If there is any safe jumps here, Dan, these are very good safe jumps.
Well, this is a good sign early on in the competition. It shows us that these long jumpers are very comfortable with these runways, and these athletes are coming down the runway and taking their jumps much better position than the men's long jump started out. We saw a lot of inconsistency in the men's open long jump, but here in the women's heptathlon, things are off to a great start.
Just waiting for the mark for Koala for the measurements. So Katarina Johnson-Thompson, as we wait for that mark from Koala, which hasn't come up on the infield boards here yet or on our computer, but Katarina Johnson-Thompson is on the runway for the first time. She's seen Nafi Thiam, 6:25 in the opening round. Let's go down to Jenny Meadows, who's right down there amongst the action. We can't seem to hear from Jenny just at the moment, but she is down there. 6:44, by the way, for Koala. That reading has just come through. So Katarina Johnson-Thompson, what's the mindset here when you've seen Thiam post a modest jump to start with?
Well, she has instructions from her coaches, and she knows exactly what they've told her. She's trying not to deviate. You don't let your excitement, you don't let your emotional feelings get in the way. You just execute exactly what the coach said, and I guarantee you they said, don't rush it. Let's get a fair jump, and we can work from there.
Katarina Johnson-Thompson just waiting her moment. The overnight leader, her first action here of day 2 after an excellent day 1. Long jump is one of her stronger events. A little bit of hesitation coming into the board, didn't quite throw herself fully at it, did it? But still, she gets a white flag and a good start.
No, it was a good start, and I noticed that little hesitation as well. She just put the brakes on a little bit as she moved from her left to her right foot being the takeoff, and that's just a braking mechanism, but she got drifted over to the right side just a little bit, but a nice first effort. It'll put her in the mix. She can, that way, take the pressure off her. Now she can work from there. 6:32, certainly not as far as she wants to jump, but a fair mark, and she has points on the board.
Yep, certainly as safer opening round jumps go. I think Katarina Johnson-Thompson, though, doesn't look it. It's very hard to tell those emotions, as we said. Just having a chat with one or two other athletes down there in that area. The reason she was having a chat is because this is her training partner, Odama. Short of 6 meters. Dama is a 6:38 jumper at her best, so again, probably an element of 80% about that one, just to get herself on the scoreboard.
Yep, good placement on the board. Looked like she rushed it just a little bit. She reached for the board to get to there, but she, when you reach for it, you just flatten that jump out just a little bit. She'll be definitely looking to improve on that jump.
Looking at Group A here, the group that contains the large majority of the key athletes. Kendall Williams, after a foul in round 1.
Well, and that's a big jump. Oh, and a red flag. And I was just about to mention off the top how everybody got a safe jump at the beginning. Kendall Williams got a foul. And I was going to say now she needs to back off on the second jump. And it didn't look like she backed off at all. It looked like she was even more aggressive. Boom, and she's over. Life is going to get very, very interesting for Kendall Williams on a third attempt.
In the bronze position overnight, Kendall Williams, 2 fouls. And we're not talking fouls by a centimetre, Dan. We're talking massive fouls.
Well, and the adjustment she's going to have to make now could put her way behind the board. That's not where you want to be at a championship meet.
Well, Erica Bugard, I guess it's a tough place, isn't it, where your competitors, your teammates, you see things not going as well as they would like, but it's got to be a bit of tunnel vision in this, isn't it? Because Bugard and Williams are effectively contesting for the same medals here.
Well, they are friends. They're not training partners, but they are friends. But you get to a certain point in the competition where you just might not help the other person. You might stop talking to the other person.
Certainly the case, I can imagine. But Bugard looks focused, and she looking to improve on her 6 meters and 21 in the opening round. With one of her chief rivals will be safe for the bronze. I mean, other things can happen, but on the form book, Thiam and Johnson-Thompson should be filling the top 2 spots. What can Bugard produce here in the second round? Something similar, I think, is the answer.
Well, she's really bringing it down the runway and does a really good job of accelerating through those last few steps, but she just misses her takeoff, and she actually hits her takeoff pretty good, but she's over-rotated a little bit, and that's going to cause you to dive down into the sand just a little bit quicker than you want to. She needs to get her head and chest up, feel that torso rise at takeoff, and it'll sail you out there and won't rush your feet into the sand.
6:19, no further than her first effort. So we're with Nadine Brawson in Pool B, who's another one of those in contention for the medals. 8th overnight, but comes on strong on the second day often. Her first attempt. That's gone sailing out over 6 meters as well. Her best is 6:23 this season, which was achieved in the indoor season. So the Dutch woman, Nadine Brawson, starts with a solid enough effort in Pool B. The 2 Dutch athletes in that pool, and Anouk Vetter as well, just below her in 12th position. But again, looking to make an impact in the second day.
Well, she really brings a lot of speed down that runway. Great foot placement, been very consistent on those first 2 jumps, 6:22, 6:10. Let's see if she can really get up for a third attempt.
So the distance for Nadine Brawson was 6 meters and 10. Sorry, 6 meters 22, I should say, in that first round. Nafi Thiam will be the next to go. She's just seen her Belgian compatriot Norwitz not improve in the second round to 5.82. Nafi Thiam, we mentioned, has been jumping in individual competitions, broken the Belgian record in the long jump twice, yeah. So 6:25, a safe enough first jump. Now's where she's got to make an impression. Again, look to have a bit to spare on the board there. It's going to be around a similar.
Well, and about 4 strides out, she recognized that she was going to be out just a little bit. She lengthened the stride, and what that does is it slows you down. She's better off just keeping your normal stride pattern, running and taking off from farther behind the board than reaching for it. It's a little bit dangerous as well. That puts a little stress on the hamstrings when you reach for it. Fatigue begins to be a factor. You've done all your warm-up runs, and then you get out there for your first attempt. 6:35, and an improvement by 10 centimeters. That's more points. That's putting more points in her bank.
Well, we mentioned these 2, Thiam and Johnson-Thompson, were a very similar match 2 years ago in London 2017. When Thiam took the title, she produced 6:57 in the long jump. Johnson-Thompson produced 6:56. Mordens. Round 2, 16th place overnight going into this event. Good jump in round 1, 6:41 from the Belgian, just a shade light of her personal best. And can now really attack this to try and shift herself up towards the top 8 in the rankings.
Well, she'd like to get a big jump outdoors. Both her PB and seasonal best she did indoors, and that was such a long time ago. You get done competing in the indoor season clear back in February, and she's probably been waiting all season long for that one big outdoor jump.
Spot on the board. Best we've seen so far. Kendall Williams would probably say, Hannah, how did you get so good on the board there? Because I'm really struggling with my foot placement. 6.36 for Morden, so no improvement. But 2 consistent jumps. And this is Verena Prainer in contention for a medal. .627 was her round 1 effort. Looking to improve on that. Yeah, 6.34 her personal best, which she just came in shy of with her first attempt, so she's going to be pretty close again to her personal best with a little bit to spare on the board. The mark for Prainer, 6.36, a lifetime best for Prainer. 2 centimeters added to her personal best.
Quality win in 2017 Student World University Games.
Okay, let's go down and join Jenny Meadows.
Yeah, well, I'm here in this really privileged position. I feel like I almost need to whisper. The tension is, you know, so much unbearable. But yeah, we've just seen that Beltran's just gone over to the pole vault now. He's gone to obviously watch Kevin Mayer. I'm sat here with Katarina Johnson-Thompson's GB national long jump coach. He's just been giving her a few indications of what she has to focus on. He's really looking out for a few things. He'll talk us through this as soon as she completes the jump. Steady enough first one. Oh, and I like it. Fantastic. Pete, you're rising there, clapping. How was that?
Very, very good. She took the pressure off with the first jump. Second round was what she wanted to do, run and jump.
She needs you, I think. She's looking at you. Go on, I'm going to have to let him go. Katarina Johnson-Thompson's knees are bigger than ours right now, but yeah, they're really pleased with that. 6.77, it's coming up in the board, and yeah, cheers all round for everyone now.
That's a huge jump from Katarina Johnson-Thompson, 6.77, what a statement.
Well, and now the pressure shifts back over to Nafi Thiam, but she did a wonderful job of just driving that left knee. She set her posture. It was almost like she was just stepping up onto another stair. You saw her whole torso just rise. That's what long jumping should look like. Outstanding, outstanding jump.
And brilliant access and insight down there with Jenny Meadows, literally with Katarina Johnson-Thompson's British athletics jumps coach. Doesn't get more direct and on the money, does it, than the coach having to break off talking to us to actually talk to the athlete. The 8 meters. Back we go to the heptathlon long jump. This is Anouk Vetter of the Netherlands. A good second day performer. Over 6 meters for the Dutch woman. 6.21 her best this year. Looks nonplussed with that.
Well, she was 6.08 on her first attempt. She just rushed the finish just a bit here. Just didn't let herself get the rise. Try to get in the air, try to land before you let yourself rise up. A couple of familiar ankle tape jobs there we've seen on some of the other athletes.
So Vetter in Pool B, 6 meters and 12, a marginal improvement just behind her compatriot Nadine Brurson. Kendall Williams, this is a big jump. 2 fouls so far. Is in the bronze medal position overnight. Has to get this right. Well, she's stayed behind the board. That's the key thing. It's going to be over 6 meters, but it had to be a white flag.
Let's see where she takes off. Little glance down there at the board. And she definitely had to play it safe, but she didn't play it that safe. She had 16 centimeters to spare. Let's say she could have gotten 10 more centimeters out of that, but when you're well over the 6 meter mark, she would have loved to have jumped farther, but she just put herself in the hole with those 2 fouls early on, and you got to come through on a third attempt. I think she's a 650 or 660 jumper today if she can produce that jump on her first attempt.
It was 6:28, the measurement for Kendall Williams, which is a good 40 centimeters or so below her best, but when you foul twice, something is absolutely better than nothing. Final round then for these heptathletes. Nurvitz, 8th best performer in this pool. Again, looking to get herself towards the top 10 overall after this, the 5th event of 7. Over 6 meters, white flag. Maybe close to what she produced in round 1, 6:11.
Great takeoff here for Ditz. Really rises up nicely, just over-rotated a little bit. You see her just, legs want to get down to the ground too soon. She needs to be leaning back just slightly at takeoff, but still have that same nice vertical push.
Well, the World Student Games bronze medalist, 6:11, no improvement. Okay, Nafi Thiam, the defending champion, has just seen her big rival, Katarina Johnson-Thompson, go soaring out to 6'77". Thiam's best so far, 6:35. They're very closely matched on their best. Can Thiam produce a response? Short of the board and well short of what Johnson-Thompson has produced. So a shake of the head from Thiam could be a significant moment in this women's heptathlon.
Well, I think that'll be an improvement for Nafi, but again, she's outside of the board, and when you're outside of the board, oh, look at that. She's 33 centimeters from the foul line there. She had to reach for it just a little bit. So look at that upper body here. Upper body's so far forward, but I'm sure that will be an improvement.
Well, 6:35 in the previous round. Just waiting for that measurement to come through. I think it wasn't, in fact, 6:40. It was a very slight improvement, Dan, so she will nudge up ever so slightly. I can tell you points-wise, Katarina Johnson-Thompson is going to make up 120 points on Nafi Thiam on this event alone. I'll just put that into some context for us, Dan, overall.
Well, with the javelin coming up, it's going to be really interesting to see now what Nafi can manage. I asked her if she felt good, and she said, "I'll make it work today." So no telling, you know, nobody really knows her health. But it's going to be interesting as we move to the next event. We'll get a chance to see where they stand and what that ultimately means, because we know that Nafi's a better javelin thrower, and we know that KJT is a better 800-meter runner.
Fascinating conclusion to the women's heptathlon later on, as Hannah Mordens, the World Junior medalist, in her final round. 6:41 was a very strong opening round performance for Mordens. We're just doing a quick bit of maths, Dan. As you say, we will see the full composite of the standings after this event, but fans of the multi-event will already be doing the calculations at home. 216 points will be Katarina Johnson-Thompson's lead going into the final 2 events. As you say, there's a big gulf between their javelins. Thiam is much stronger, but there's a question mark over her fitness and an elbow injury, and that we will only see pan out when Thiam launches the javelin. Exciting conclusion in prospect, not only in this but also in the decathlon as well, where Kevin Mayer looks to be struggling with a bit of an injury. Damien Warner in action in the discus circle at the moment. We'll keep you in touch with how he's going. Verena Preiner, last round, improving on 6:36. Her PB, can she? Not this time. So a PB though is a fine evening's work in terms of her long jump. 6:36 for Preiner.
Well, again, another athlete. Look at her, she rises up very nicely, but you see she gets a little too far forward, over rotates, good foot placement. But it's all about where's your torso, where's your posture at the point of takeoff. Nice jump into the air, just the wrong position on top.
Solid effort though for Preiner overall, who's actually ranked in 4th position in the overall standings. Koala. Now she's in 6th overall. She produced a big 6:44 in the first round, followed by a foul in round 2. Well, I'm talking about Katarina Johnson-Thompson's lead. That's, of course, if he doesn't go and improve further in round 3. I'm jumping the gun ever so slightly. Here's Koala. Looks short of that first round jump of 6:44. Koala in 6th place overall, though.
Well, she's got really nice running style down the runway. Like to see her go with a little bit more traditional arm exchange on her takeoff, but she looks every bit as good coming down the runway as the open event women will just in a couple days' time.
So Katarina Johnson-Thompson is on the runway then, 6:77. On the right-hand side, you can see the gentleman that Jenny Meadows was speaking to, Peter Stanley, part of the British Athletics jumps coaching setup. Can she go further clear of Thiam in this event? Thiam produced 6:40. Johnson-Thompson so far 6:77.
Not a lot of changes need to be made. If she wants to jump a little bit farther, it's the same mindset. Same run, same everything. All you're going to do is just try to stretch it out. Just get a little more out of your landing.
Well, as Jenny Meadows said, her main coach, Bertrand Valsen, is the other end of the arena with Kevin Meyer. Here's Johnson-Thompson then. Keep an eye on her coach as well. It's a red flag to finish with, so if she really did attack that last one with that great jump already on the board, you can throw everything. It's a foul to finish with, 6:77.
Well, not a bad tactic here. She probably moved up that step just a bit, really attacked it. But it would have, you know, even on a fair jump, I don't think it goes as far as her farthest one of the day, but a good jump nonetheless.
So that lead will be 216 points going into the javelin, which comes up later on in the program. 2010 local time, so those two pools again will run together, coming up in around about 1 hour and 10 minutes. The athletes to go off and have their half an hour of rest and then getting themselves warmed up and ready to go. Final jumper in this pool is Solène Ndama. Yet to cross 6 meters in the competition today, but she's a 6:38 jumper at her best. 12th position in the overall competition. And doesn't broach the 6 meter line there either. So disappointing competition for Ndama, who's missed out on some valuable points there, nearly half a meter down on her best.
Yeah, just looked a little bit flat on the run, a little bit flat on the takeoff as well, leaning back just a little bit at takeoff. But valuable experience here at the World Championships, and even when you don't compete up to snuff, you can always take these experiences into the next year and into the next major meet.
Here's Ahunawanu back in the heptathlon long jump. This is in Group B. 6 meters her best in this season, and that is going to be right on that line of 6 meters from Ahunawanu, the athlete from Benin. 9th position overall. She started the night in 7th, started the day in 7th, just slipped down a couple of places during this long jump competition, but
well, it's always interesting to see a great multi-event athlete from one of these smaller countries. She owns national records in the 100-meter hurdles, high jump, shot put, and the heptathlon. And I know at one point or another, Lyndon Victor and his brother owned the pole vault, the javelin, and the decathlon records in Grenada.
Wow. Here's Annie Kunz of the USA, 5th overnight. 5:75 she produced in the first round, her best effort so far.
Well, her first day total was a personal best by over 150 points. She is having a fantastic competition. She just went from one event to the next, just PBing one after the next. Comes out here, she needs to get over that 6 meter barrier.
The Pan American Games silver medalist from Peru a couple of months ago. Decent on the board. looking to improve on 5.75 from round one. As Kunz waits for the distance. Keep your eye on the numbers on the right-hand side of Annie Kunz's name there. And there you go, 5.95, so a decent improvement, just shy of the 6-meter line.
Yeah, it's not exactly what she wanted, just because she's just been rolling in this heptathlon. She's a pretty decent javelin thrower as well, and she'll run a good 800 meters, but I know a good long jump might have given her a chance to move up the leaderboard.
Anouk Vetter, third attempt for the Netherlands, at over 6 meters. Improved steadily through the rounds, 6.08, then 6.12. That looks like it might have inched a few centimeters further into the pit. Just down in 10th position, but her throws are strong, so javelin, she might be able to make up some ground in the coming event.
Real quick jumper, she does it with her speed.
6.12 for Vetter, in fact was her second round mark, so we're just waiting for that distance still to migrate its way onto the board. Netherlands, the top two in this pool, two best performances. Strong multi-event nation, of course. And just getting confirmation of that distance, 6 meters 20 for Vetter, so it was an improvement. As we see the athletes head off for their rest and recovery after 5 of 7 events, and the event leader, Katarina Johnson-Thompson of Great Britain, in pole position with the javelin and the 800 meters still to come. The javelin could be the one that decides it. This is the composite of the long jump, with all the athletes from both pools together, and 1,095 points for that effort from KJT.
Well, that is definitely significant. You get over 670, oh, the points just come flooding in. She beats Koala by over 100 points, and Nafi, wow, you know, that is very significant.
So all the numbers crunched, and this is how things look after those 5 of 7 events. 216 points the gap between Katarina Johnson-Thompson and the defending champion Nafi Thiam. Kendall Williams of the US, I think, will be pretty happy to still be in that position. As she stood at the runway ahead of her third jump, she'd have taken that, wouldn't she?
Well, absolutely. You know, I think she had a little bit more in her, shooting into third place. Well, look out for Bogard. Prunier is there within striking distance. Question is, you know, how not can Thiam beat KJT in the javelin, but by how much, and will it be significant enough? Here we see our cylinders. Kendall Williams there on the right, Nafi Thiam in the middle. Look at the consistency there. High jump. Very similar. Shot put, not a big score for either one, but still just an edge to Nafi, certainly. Big personal best on the left for KJT. 200 meters, very strong for KJT. She lengthens her lead there. And it's a good feeling to come out on day 2 and even put more pad on that lead. I think Nafi would have loved another 30 centimeters, and I think it was there, but it was just on the wrong side of the board.
Well, great graphics those, aren't they, to really bring it home as to where it's been won, lost so far. You can see the different colours, and at the moment, it's the tower on the left.
Lorena Prunier, World Student Games champion a couple of years ago. She's lying in 4th place overall after an excellent PB in the long jump. And again, if you're looking at athletes who might come through the mix in the last couple of events, if Prunier secures a PB or close to in the javelin and runs close to her best in the 800 meters, she's got a chance at the podium. 43.39, her personal best, remember, just under 50 meters. Now Jenny Meadows is right down there amongst the action, and I bet you can almost taste the tension at the javelin area, Jenny.
I can indeed, and I'm just watching KJT there with her first attempt. Well, her support team are looking at each other, they're clapping that on. She came over just before that throw. Goes over a really short run-up, actually. This is not her favourite event whatsoever. She's worked really hard on it, and she really needs to make sure she's well in excess of 40 metres in this event.
Great stuff. Thank you, Jenny. Now, the good news from the point of view of the Katarina Johnson-Thompson fan club, that is very close to her PB. And this event has huge significance for Nafi Thiam, the defending champion. That's very good from Oosterwegel. Oosterwegel, fourth in the European under-23s. She's soared out to over 54 metres this season. She's lying outside, well outside the podium positions at the moment. She's in 15th. And let me just take a quick moment to give you the context of why Thiam's javelin is important. If Nafi Thiam threw close to her personal best, that's a point swing of over 300 in her favour away from Katarina Johnson-Thompson. But if it's down at her season's best, it's only a swing of 100 points. And remember, Johnson-Thompson, good effort there from Bugard, who's trying to get herself in the mix for the bronze. She was fourth overnight and lies fifth at the moment. At the moment, Johnson-Thompson leads by 216 points. So, if Nafi Thiam is in 59-metre shape with the javelin, it would take that lead back. But so far this season, the Belgian has been 12 metres shy of her PB. That's why her javelin is so crucial for this competition.
It's one of the big question marks coming into this competition was how was Nafi Thiam's arm. I had a chance to shake her hand today and I said, how's your arm? And she said, she will make do. She said, I will make do. So whatever that means, I'm not entirely sure. And I said, I'm sure that you will. But that was an outstanding throw by Oosterwegel, the farthest throw in the competition so far. She's over 54 meters again. And I wondered what was taking so long for these young women to warm up. There have been a couple of withdrawals and they've combined the groups now, so all of the women will throw the javelin together. And that makes better sense. You'll have one flight of 19, not two flights of 10 or 11. That's a throw by Sherry Hawkins. Her first attempt, Sherry Hawkins has thrown 44.15. She did that at the US Championships back in July. She's over the 40-meter line, so that won't be close to her personal best, but she's on the board, 40 meters, 07.
Nafi Thiam's attempt to successfully defend her title may well rest on this javelin. Is her elbow in the kind of shape to let her go close to her PB? No, is the answer to that question. It looked to me, you're the expert with body language and the technical aspects of this event, that looked a very, very reserved throw to me.
Well, and she didn't like it whatsoever. She doesn't even want to put what little points she got there on the board. But it also looked like she threw it possibly too high. It went straight up and straight down. I don't think she's certainly in 55 or 56 meter condition.
I'm slightly surprised, Dan, that Nafi Thiam didn't even at least want to have that measured just to get a steady one in the bank.
Well, I didn't see her take any warm-up throws whatsoever, so she's definitely saving her arm. But it didn't look like she was under any distress either. You know, she took that throw and didn't look like it hurt her arm. I think that was a feeler. She's just going out there, find your line, find your run up, and then really let one go. I think she can definitely throw over that 50-meter line, and that will make things more interesting, but I'm not sure it'll be enough to beat KJT.
Well, that was a lovely throw from Anouk Vetter, bronze medalist 2 years ago, lying in 10th place. Her PB is 58 meters. She has gone 55 this season. That's more like it from the talented Dutch woman. 51.87. Useful points for her, and a nice relaxed conversation with Katarina Johnson-Thompson. Nafi Thiam looks deep in thought. Kendall Williams steps straight over. She is lying in third place coming into this competition, but A little bit like Katarina Johnson-Thompson, just lost her balance there. This is not one of her better events. 44 metres this season, 46 her PB.
Well, and coming into today, her coach said if she can long jump 660 or 670 and throw 44 meters, she's going to have a chance and have to run for it in the 800 meters. But she's coming up short on both of those events so far.
A little wry smile on the face of Katarina Kacheva. Twice she's finished 6th in the European Championships. The angle they're looking for, by the way, for a perfect release on the javelin, or near it, is between 36 and 40 degrees. Apparently the ideal angle for throwing in general terms is 45 degrees, but because of the dynamic makeup of the javelin in this specific throwing event, it's more like 36 to 40. Martha Koala. Koala, a multiple African medalist from Burkina Faso. And how they must be celebrating after Zambo's incredible last round heroics in the men's triple jump. Their first medal in World Championship history, male or female. Certainly not interested in having that throw measured. 6:44 from Koala in the long jump. It's been a good day for the African athlete. She's in 6th overall coming into this penultimate event in the heptathlon. A decent amount of rest for these women. We're looking at a local time of just gone midnight, so it's still around about, what, 3.5 hours before we're going to see them in that 800 meters.
Well, and what's interesting, this event will conclude in the next 45 minutes or an hour as we see Broersen. Just amazing, these Dutch heptathletes. They can all throw javelin very, very well, but they are going to have 2.5 hours of wait in the multi-women's rest area before they have to come out and run the 800 meters. And if this were a national championship, they would just move them up into a sooner slot and not make them wait until after midnight to run that 800 meters. But I don't think there's no going away from this World Championship TV schedule.
And is it better for them to have more rest, or do you think they're at more of an advantage if they just crack on with their competitive momentum?
Well, I think they'll appreciate the rest. However, I think it won't be so good on their psyches to be sitting in a room for 2.5 hours just waiting and waiting and waiting to get out there on the track.
Voronina. Well, she must win the award for the biggest roar so far. That was wild. And the Asian champion has launched the javelin out to comfortably in excess of 50 meters.
Look at that whip arm action. She does a great job with her lower body. She plants her left foot in there, creates an axis, turns on it, and just that right arm is the last thing to go. Whip action. And she's out over 50 meters, 51.60.
Prina has an outside shout of a medal. That's around about, what, 45 meters or so. Just looking for Prina's 800 time. She's a 2:07 performer, so she's really quick. One of the best as far as the last event is concerned, along with Klisan of Hungary and Katarina Johnson-Thompson. And here comes the world indoor champion and the Commonwealth champion. She's already, with that 42.21, thrown very close to her lifetime best. Now, where's that landing? Oh, that's going to be a new PB. And just as she did in the opening event, the 100-meter hurdles, And in the shot put, Katarina Johnson-Thompson is producing the best heptathlon of her life. PB in the 100 hurdles, PB in the shot put, and that will be a new lifetime best in the javelin. We're just waiting for the distance to come up. 43.93, that is a personal best by more than a meter.
And I'm looking at that technique and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, she knows how to throw the javelin now. Outstanding results, and I think that shot put was a little bit unexpected for that PB, but we heard that she was working on her discus and she was going to improve. I'd like to see her really rip at this last one though. Congratulations to her on a new personal best.
Erica Bugard in 5th place. The US champion, her PB is around about 45 meters. That's okay from Bugard. Twice US indoor champion. She definitely has a chance of a medal.
She is an outstanding 800-meter runner as well. Under 2:10, she'll give anybody in the race a run for their money.
Yeah.
Katarina Johnson-Thompson, by the way, courtesy of that PB, has a brilliant chance to move into the top 10 heptathlon performances of all time. We'll bring you the specifics on those numbers soon as Vidits, the World Student Games bronze medalist from a couple of years ago, releases the javelin. And also, it's not beyond the realms of possibility that Jessica Ennis-Hill's British record might come under threat. Her PB has her 4th on the all-time list behind Jackie Joyner-Kersee, Carolina Kluft and Nafi Thiam herself. So Johnson-Thompson is in uncharted territory, but we haven't seen all 3 efforts from Nafi Thiam yet, so it's far from over.
This is Sherry Hawkins. She was number 3 at the US Championships this year, and she doesn't like it. She'll step over the foul line, take a red card.
Geraldine Ruckstahl. She's down in 18th, but she has thrown the javelin at her best out to in excess of 58 meters. Oh, that's big. That is big. That's a great throw from Ruckstahl. That's more like it. European under-23 champion. She's only 21. A young Swiss woman with huge talent. Oostwegel still has the best throw at 54 meters. We're watching and waiting, not just for Hannah Mordens, the World Junior bronze medalist a couple of years ago, but for her teammate Nafi Thiam. What a great shot that is from the cameraman. Katarina Johnson-Thompson with Thiam prowling around in the background. This is Mordens, way shy of the 40-meter line. 5th in the European under-23s this year. Well, I guess, Dan, if Nafi Thiam is to successfully defend this title, she's got to come out and give it everything on this throw.
Well, it was a mystery going into the javelin, and then after the first throw, it's even more of a mystery. We just haven't seen her lean in and really throw very hard, and she, you know, she's trying to protect it. I understand that. There she goes. She's putting on the rubber band. This is very interesting. It's almost like she's cutting the circulation off to that area, but it's not the normal bandage or the tape job that we've seen.
Out to over 40 meters for Ahwan Wanu from Benin. She's a 46-meter performer at her best. Angle just down at 26. The ideal range for the javelin would be 36 to 40. She walks away and up to her corner. I'm just watching Nafi Thiam's body language out the corner of my eye, and also Katarina Johnson-Thompson, who can barely bring herself to watch Nafi Thiam. Now, just a reminder, those of you who know, I apologise, but it's always worth clarifying situations here. Nafi Thiam's personal best is 59 metres. That would be a swing in points of over 300. And remember, coming into this event, she trails the leader Katarina Johnson-Thompson by just over 200 points. That's why we're placing so much emphasis on this javelin competition. It's better, but how much better? Well, she's still shy of the 50-metre line, but whereas her first throw that she elected not to have measured was, what, 42-43, she's edging closer to 50. Excellent angle of release there from Nafi Thiam, and she still has one throw left. But if there's no improvement on this, Dan, it would not be the 300-point shift and swing that we would have been expecting.
And there was just a slight grimace after that throw, and that's what I really wanted to see. Does it hurt her to throw? She's no doubt going to take another throw. She wants to get over that 50-meter mark to just see what that point swing looks like. But that was the right angle. Let's see if she's willing to push it just a little bit farther and rip at it as we get a look at Annie Koons.
Just bear with me, Dan. I'm just getting my calculator out to do a few little sums here.
Launch angle 34.7. It's not bad, but this is not one of Annie's best events. She got off to a really nice first day. Personal best on the first day by over 140 points. Came back, came up a little bit short in the long jump to start the second day, and there goes Nafi Thiam. It looks like she's going under, but she's left her shoes on, which means she just might be going under to get a proper tape job and come back and take her final throw.
Okay, I've done the sums, but let's give Vetter the respect that her throw deserves by concentrating on her. She's the bronze medalist from 2 years ago, Anouk Vetter. Oh, this is big. That is absolutely superb from Vetter. Not too far away from her season's best, which is over 55 metres. Dutch have such a great history when it comes to the multi-events. A certain Daphne Skippers took the bronze back in Moscow before taking back-to-back golds in the 200. Not to be such a happy games for her so far, but maybe she'll be in the 4x1 for the Dutch quartet. We'll have to wait and see. But that is a brilliant throw from Vetter. She goes top, 54 metres 17. If there's no further throw from Nafi Thiam, she will claw back 79 points on Katarina Johnson-Thompson, which means that Britain would still lead by 137 points come the 800 metres, and she has a PB in that one, the Britain, 10 seconds faster than Nafi Thiam. So it would give the Britain a very, very good chance of the gold medal, and also, barring injury or pulling her hamstring, a massive personal best that might, just might, see her supersede Jessica Ennis-Hill as the British record holder, and might give her a chance to go top 5 in history. Let's see.
Well, there's always something on the line, Rob. You get down to the final event as you enter the 1,500 meters or the 800 meters, as we see Kachova, whether it's a personal best, whether it's for a medal, always something on the line.
And, you know, as we have been building up and very much enjoying this duel between the world indoor champion and the defending world champion outdoors, do you think thus far it's been a case of Thiam not quite being at 100%, as well as Katarina Johnson-Thompson producing the performance of her life with 3 big personal bests? Reiner here. lying in 4th place, coming into this competition, secured a PB in the long jump. And Dan O'Brien and I will keep an eye out to see whether Nafi Thiam does indeed re-emerge. So she's gone off, and we're waiting to see whether she'll come back for her 3rd throw. Her 2nd was way down on her lifetime best, and that tells us, Dan O'Brien, that there will not be a 3rd throw from Nafi Thiam, and she will have to run an enormous PB in the 800 if she is to successfully defend this crown. It is Katarina Johnson-Thompson's to lose now.
Well, she went running in, and I thought maybe she's just going to go in for a different type of a tape job, but then she came back out, she got all of her gear, and she disappeared, and that just tells us that she knows at this point she just cannot beat KJT, and that arm is just hurting too much, and you can't blame her either. Next year is the Olympic year. That Olympic gold medal, you know, may just mean a little bit more to her. She doesn't want to hurt herself and risk greater injury.
Prina then, one of the women hoping to capitalize on an opportunity here, and she loved that one. PB just shy of 50 meters. That was a really good performance. Remember, so far her best is 45.30. She improved by almost 2 meters in the 2nd round. Has she done it again in the 3rd? I think she's going to like the numbers she sees shortly. We're still watching and waiting for that mark to come with just the 800 meters. 46.68. That is an excellent throw from Prina, and she has indeed given herself a brilliant opportunity come the 800 meters, as has this British woman who has already delivered 3 lifetime bests. If she can run anywhere close to her PB in the 800, she will produce one of the top 10 performances in heptathlon history. Any advancement on her new PB here would simply be a bonus. No, doesn't matter. A new PB with that 43-meter, 93-centimeter throw in the 2nd round. She's closing in on what would be by far the best achievement of her career. She's the world indoor champion, she's the Commonwealth champion, she's the European silver medalist, and she is 2 laps away from beating the 3rd best heptathlete in history, Nafi Thiam, who also happens to be the defending champion.
Well, she has just been so impressive over the last couple of days, and when you see a young multi-event athlete like her who has the skills, speed, be able to, you know, the jumping ability, but weak in the throwing events, but then you see them go away for a little while, struggle with their technique, and then come back and make the changes. It's very, very encouraging, and she's done exactly that, just gone back to the drawing board, and her coaches have been taking great care of her in those throwing events, and she is much, much improved. Now you put that with her overall athletic ability, and I think Jessica Ennis would say that when she saw Johnson-Thompson as a young athlete that she was a little bit scary, but it was her throws that kept her back. And now you see that 190 high jump come around, you see that 670, 680 long jump with the outstanding 200 meters, 1305 in the hurdles. If you can start pushing 45 meters in the javelin, 14 meters in the shot, it's like, okay, now we're talking somebody who could challenge the world record.
Wow, that's a big shout. But let's just give you the official card there as we look at Bugard, Erica Bugard, who herself is having a great competition. 3rd throw from the American, the indoor champion. Her best so far, 43.48. That was a good effort. And she is an excellent 800-meter runner. And that might make the difference between finishing 3rd or 4th. But Katarina Johnson-Thompson's card, 13.09 for the hurdles, 195 high jump, 13.86 shot put, 23.08 in the 200, 6.77 in the long jump, and a PB of just shy of 44 meters in the javelin. Williams now just beginning to wrap up this javelin in the heptathlon. An excellent 800-meter runner. She was lying third overnight and was in third position coming in to this javelin.
She had a foul on her first throw, 41.91 on her second throw. Looking to improve on that, and she absolutely will. That looked like it was well over the 45-meter line. 45.12 for Kendall Williams. And she'll retire for the night.
Sorry, Dan, that was Katarina Johnson-Thompson heading off. And Dharma going off. She threw 37 meters. It was Geraldine Ruchstahl who had the best throw. Here we see Ruchstahl and the throw of Nafi Thiam and Katarina Johnson-Thompson. But remember, although Johnson-Thompson's throw is the shortest of the three, hers was a PB, Nafi Thiam was well short of hers, and Ruchstahl's was the longest of the competition, bringing her a total of 964 points for that 55.35. Johnson-Thompson is in pole position for the gold, and she could potentially go fourth on the all-time list if she runs close to her personal best. But the athletes are out for the first of the two heats. Their competition coming to an end here in the early hours of Friday morning. So welcome to the first of two heats in the 800 meters. Solène Ndama, European indoor bronze this year. She's on the outside. Shari Hawkins, fourth in the World Student Games. A nice smile from her. Hawkins is in 14th place overall. Ekaterina Voronina is in 13th. Annie Kunz, Pan American silver medalist. She lies 12th at the moment. Geraldine Ruchstahl produced a 55-meter javelin throw. That's moved her up to 11th. No Martha Koala, that's disappointing for her. As we head to Hannah Mordens, the Belgians in 16th. Kacheva of the Czech Republic, 6th in the European Championships last year. She's in 17th overall. And Vidits in 18th, young Belgian. Glad to see her having a great experience here. One of these women will finish with a win in this event, in this heat. So looking at the times, Vidits has got a PB of 2:10. Kacheva of the Czech Republic, 2:12. Mordens of Belgium is a 2:08 performer at her best. Mordens goes in lane 3.
This should be a very competitive race. Everybody in this 800 meters has run faster than 2:15. You won't see that in the final heat, but Mordens certainly with a 2:08 personal best. Watch her out of lane 3.
It's been a long few days for these women. And it is Hannah Mordens who leads on the inside. Solène Ndama, she's run 2:11 indoors, en route to that European indoor bronze earlier this year. And Kunz now, the tall, powerful-looking American, the Pan American silver medalist, coming up wide on the outside as they edge round now towards the bell. No real breaks off the front, and perhaps as they head into the last lap, it may well be the Belgian Hannah Mordens who decides to take it on.
Ndama just didn't quite have the meet that she wanted to have. So much success in European competition. She trains with KJT, came up short in the long jump to start day 2. So like to see her give a nice effort here to finish this off. as Sherry Hawkins surges to the front.
Morden's coming under pressure now. Hawkins sprinting as if her life depends on it with 200 metres to go. Morden's, though, is closing the gap. Viditz and Ruchstahl trying to get in amongst it, but Morden's gritting her teeth, and she's determined that she will finish her World Championship campaign in 2019 with a win. The youngster pulling away from the rest of the field. It's not going to be a PB, but it's a decent time, this. Hannah Mordens takes the win, 2:12, just inside. Good running from the rest. The American, Sherry Hawkins, who exploded down the back straight, just ran out of steam a little bit towards the end. Rounded down by another 100th. A long, grueling 2 days is over. Voronina came through quickly for second. Morden's had the best PB, and she did have the honour of coming home first. They deserve their lap of honour, which will come, as it always does by tradition, after the second heat has finished. Their season is over, and they richly deserve a glass of something sparkling later tonight.
Well, very even paces by Modens. She came through in 1:06 to the 400-meter mark. She finishes in 2:12, and it's very difficult to run even paces. These heptathletes don't usually do that, but 2:12.98 for the win of this first of two heats. Voronina, 2:15. Viditz, 2:15. Sherry Hawkins, who made a nice move with 200 to go, she comes out with a seasonal best, 2:16.78. Kachova, seasonal best as well, 2:16.85.
Well, Jenny Meadows is down trackside ahead of what will be the medal determining heat of the 800 metres. And Jenny, is there a sense down there that we could be about to see a piece of history by Katarina Johnson-Thompson?
There is, Rob. I've managed to speak to Bruno. He's the French coach who looks after Kat's running. He thinks that she can run 2:07. That's the plan. He says that she's capable of 2:05 if she didn't have all those legs events already in her legs. The plan is 31 seconds for the first 200 and subsequent 32 seconds. That will take her around 2:07 and under that 2:09 barrier that she needs for Jessica Ennis-Hill's British record.
And just to clarify, great insight and analysis there from Jenny. Good work from the former world indoor silver medalist from 2009. Hannah Mordens has taken that one, 2:12.98. Voronina came through for second, and season's bests for Sherry Hawkins and Kachova. Hawkins probably rewarded with that after storming down the back straight. Well, the significant thing about Jessica Ennis-Hill's record, she currently sits fourth on the world all-time list. So, if Katarina Johnson-Thompson can run, I make it 2:08.98, so let's call it 2:08 plus bits, she will move to fourth on the all-time list with only Jackie Joyner-Kersee, Carolina Kluft and Nafi Thiam ahead of her. We are preparing for the last act of a drama which began yesterday afternoon with the 100-meter hurdles. Katarina Johnson-Thompson on her way surely to the performance of a lifetime. Personal bests in the 100 hurdles, the shot put and the javelin. Can she deliver another here and in the process move to fourth on the all-time list, taking the British record with it? Nafi Thiam is and will remain a great champion. She's the Olympic champion. She's the European champion. But over the last 2 days, she has found herself playing second best to an athlete who was determined to wrestle the global gold away from her. Thiam is in second place and needs to watch out or the likes of Verena Prehner, the Austrian, who is in third. Here we go with the big build-up to the women's 800 metres, the end of the heptathlon. The second heat of the women's 800 metres. This is where the medals will be decided.
We welcome in lane number 1. She's in 9th position from the Netherlands, Emma Oosterwegel.
Emma Oosterwegel, 4th in the European under-23s.
In lane number 2 from Benin, she's in 8th position overall.
A great
Odile
ambassador for
Ahuanu.
African multi-events, Odile Ahuanu.
In lane number 3 from the United States
Lying
of America,
in 7th place, can she
position
finish with a
overall,
flourish? Erica Bugard, twice the US indoor champion.
In lane number 8 from the Netherlands, in 5th position, Nadine Brouwersen.
A class act, Nadine Brouwersen. Is there one more twist of drama from her?
In lane number 7 from the United States of America,
she's
a
brilliant 100-metre hurdler.
Williams.
Kendall Williams is developing into a brilliant heptathlete.
In lane number 6 from Austria, she's in the bronze medal position.
She is
Verena
800 metres
Prehner.
away from a world bronze. Verena Prehner, can she close the gap on the Olympic champion?
In lane number 5 from Belgium, she's in the silver medal position, but
The
she's
European champion, the defending world champion, the Olympic champion, Nafi Thiam.
In lane number 4 from Great Britain, Northern Ireland, the world indoor champion,
The world indoor champion,
leader,
the
Katarina
Commonwealth champion.
Johnson-Thompson.
Is she the champion-elect here? Katarina Johnson-Thompson has the chance not just to win, but to underline her status here tonight as one of the all-time greats. Vetter in 9, Netherlands. Brouwersen in 8, Netherlands. Williams in 7 for the USA. Prehner, Austria in 6. Thiam, Belgium in 5. Johnson-Thompson, Great Britain in 4. Bugard, USA 3. Benin, Ahuanu and Oosterwegel on the inside. This is a race of huge significance in women's heptathlon. Katarina Johnson-Thompson, the outstanding performer, has the chance to underline her status as one of the all-time greats. She has a huge lead over the reigning defending world champion, the Olympic champion, Nafi Thiam, and it's a steady start from Johnson-Thompson. If she can run 2:08, she will break Jessica Ennis-Hill's British record and move 4th on the all-time list, and this is quick.
Well, and she's in good company here as well, Rob. A number of these ladies have run under 2:10, so she's not going to be alone out there. And so often in a multi-event like this, you would ask your leader just to do it all by herself, but they've got fantastic times, they've got fantastic finishing kicks. But KGT takes over with 1 lap to go. She's 1:03 at the 400-meter mark. I think she's right where she wants to be.
Katarina Johnson-Thompson trying to grab this race by the scruff of the neck, as she has done for the entire competition. This has been the performance of a lifetime. Prina in second is trying to move away from Nafi Thiam and secure the silver instead of the bronze. Bugard's running well, the American. 200 metres away from a place in sporting history. The world indoor title was quality. The Commonwealth crown came with great glory, but nothing she did last year and nothing she's done up to now can match what we're seeing tonight here in Doha. This is incredible. This is why Katarina Johnson-Thompson first became an athlete. She's going to produce one of the best performances we've ever seen from a heptathlete. 2:07.27. She's done it. Not only is she the world champion, she's just produced the 4th best mark we've ever seen from a heptathlete. She has wrestled the world title away from one of the greats and cemented her own status as a multi-eventer whose talent will never be forgotten. The world indoor champion is the world outdoor champion, and with a performance like that, there's only one title left that she'll want, and that is the Olympic crown. What a performance from Katarina Johnson-Thompson. Amazing.
Well, I'm glad she didn't have to do it alone in that 800 either. Prina was up there, Erica Bugard. Oosterwagel was there for a while, but she can't believe her overall score, but just absolutely flawless over the last couple days. And I think it started, Rob, for her in the shot put. It was an unlikely personal best. She had 2 average throws, and then she pops out a personal best, and it really set her on her way. She woke up the following morning and long jumped exceptionally. She had a fantastic javelin, a much improved javelin. And then it was just figuring out how fast did she need to go. And we know that she is such a gamer in the 800 meters and such a great champion as well as Nafi Thiam, to congratulate her. Nafi never looked down. She never made any excuses. She was out there trying her best, and that's what this is all about. But KJT, that's one of the best performances I have ever seen in the heptathlon.
And that analysis is coming from a world record holder, world champion and Olympic champion Dan O'Brien. She cannot believe it, and she has produced the 4th best performance the world has ever seen in a heptathlon. Personal bests all over the place. Extraordinary from Katarina Johnson-Thompson. She's never run faster for the hurdles. She's never thrown the shot put as far, or the javelin. And now, she's never run the 800 meters as quick as that either. It was the perfect way to finish.
And I know what it's like to go in the final event ahead, way ahead. But there's always something at stake, a personal best overall score, a personal best in the individual event, a national record, maybe a world record, maybe a world championship record. These athletes always have something to run for. And Johnson-Thompson, her best event is probably the 800 meters. Look at her pull away from 2 very, very quality 800 meter runners. She had another gear with 50 meters to go.
All 3 of them coming home inside 2 minutes 10, which is fantastic for the heptathletes, it really is. But what about that? 4 personal bests for the 4th best total the world has ever seen. Her name now sits just behind Jackie Joyner-Kersee, Carolina Kluft, Nafi Thiam. She will be the favourite for the Olympic title next year. What a story this has been for 2 days. It's been a privilege to be up here in the commentary box, and I suspect, Jenny Meadows, it's just as good, if not better, down there by the track.
It is, Rob, it is. I'm just about 5 meters away from KJT here. I know her really well, live really close to her, but this is her moment. She's been criticised in the past for not showing emotion but that was some real raw emotion that we saw from her this evening. She really has come of age, and she's really took a gamble. She's changed her whole location. She moved over to France 3 years ago, and I think it's just that analysis that I was able to give you at the beginning. It's all her team. She wanted to run 2:07. They knew she was capable of running a 2:07. And what did she produce? She produced that 2:07. She's got all her house in order now, not just herself and a childhood coach that she had. Mike Holmes has done a fantastic job with her. She's got 3 coaches that have really helped her really improve on all of these events. And I think she's as surprised as anyone, but Katarina Johnson-Thompson there, she knows what the maximum capability of every event is, and we've just seen the fruition of that here this evening.
Thanks very much, Jenny. Verena Prina, she takes the bronze medal courtesy of a fabulous 2:08.88. Nafi Thiam had a big gap. She could have afforded to finish, I think, 17 or 18 seconds behind Prina and still hold on to the silver. She ran 2:18.9, so it is the silver for her. Katarina Johnson-Thompson, with the 4th best score in history, denies Nafi Thiam a 2nd world title. Verena Prina of Austria takes the bronze in one of the most memorable finishes we've ever seen to a heptathlon. That was brilliant. Superb from Katarina Johnson-Thompson, the 4th best total ever secured. The defending champion takes silver this time, and Verena Prina managed the bronze.